Right now, somewhere in your city, there's a rental property listing that would cash flow $400 a month. It's going under contract in the next 48 hours to someone who knew how to evaluate it fast. By the end of this video, you'll be that person. You'll look at any rental listing anywhere in the country and know in under 5 minutes whether it's worth your money or a trap dressed up in fresh paint. And the third number I'm going to show you, it's the one professional investors actually care about most, and almost nobody in the residential space talks about it. So grab a seat and let's get into it. Here's the thing most people don't realize. The investors making serious money in real estate aren't smarter than you. They're just faster. Not because of experience, because of 3 numbers they run on every single deal before they spend another second looking. Today, you're getting all 3. The first filter is the fastest one in real estate. It's called the 1% rule, and it works like this. Take the purchase price of any property and ask, does the monthly rent equal at least 1% of that price? A $200,000 property needs to bring in $2,000 a month. A $400,000 property needs $4,000. That's it. 30 seconds, and you know whether a property even deserves your attention. Brandon Turner, co-host of the Bigger Pockets podcast, one of the most downloaded real estate shows in the world, used exactly this rule when he started buying rentals in rural Washington state in his early 20s. Markets most people scroll right past. His line, the 1% rule isn't the destination, it's the bouncer at the door. You don't analyze a deal that can't get past the bouncer. Here's where it gets interesting. In San Francisco, median home prices sit around $1.3 million. Median rents hover around $3,200 a month. That's barely a 0.25% ratio. San Francisco single-family homes almost universally fail the 1% rule. Meanwhile, cities like Memphis, Cleveland, and Birmingham regularly hit 1.5 to 2%. The boring Midwest markets most people scroll past crush the sexy coastal cities for actual rental income. This single filter eliminates roughly 70 to 80% of bad deals before you've touched a calculator. Okay, a property passes the 1% rule. Now what? This is where most new investors make their biggest mistake, and it costs them everything. It's called the 50% rule, and it's your defense against the oldest game in real estate. Picture this. Someone finds a duplex that passes the 1% rule. The listing looks clean. The seller's agent presents expenses at 28% of income, taxes, insurance, a little maintenance. On paper, cash flow looks like $500 a month. They buy it. Then 14 months later, the HVAC dies. $6,500 gone in a week. The roof needs replacement the following spring. Another $11,000. A tenant moves out and the unit sits vacant for 3 months. That's $3,600 in lost rent. In less than 2 years, every dollar of profit has evaporated, and then some. This isn't a cautionary tale. It's the most common story on every real estate investing forum in existence. Here's why it keeps happening. Sellers and listing agents present numbers designed to make properties look attractive, sometimes showing expense ratios as low as 25 or 30% of income. The truth, across thousands of real-world rentals, operating expenses consistently eat 45 to 52% of gross rent. A 2019 survey of over 1,000 landlords by Buildium found that 72% of first-time landlords said their actual expenses in year 1 exceeded projections by an average of 23%. The 50% rule rounds that reality to a clean, conservative number you can use right now. The math is simple. Take your monthly rent. Half goes to expenses, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, vacancy, repairs, management. The other half pays your mortgage. Whatever's left is cash flow. A property renting for $2,000 a month leaves you $1,000 after expenses. If your mortgage is $750, you clear $250 a month. If it's $1,100, you're losing money every month. Walk away. The 50% rule forces you to price in the HVAC and the roof before you ever make an offer, not after. If this is landing for you, hit subscribe. I put out videos like this every week, and the best part is still coming. All right, this is the one I've been saving for you. Once a property passes the first 2 filters, you run 2 final numbers, and together, they change everything. The first is cap rate. Cap rate equals your net operating income divided by the purchase price. Net operating income is simply 50% of your gross annual rent. You already have that number. A $200,000 property renting for $2,000 a month generates $24,000 a year in gross rent. 50% is $12,000 in net operating income. Divide by 200,000, your cap rate is 6%. Below 4%, you're betting on appreciation, not income. 5 to 7% is solid, typical in mid-tier markets. 8% and above means strong cash flow, common in the Midwest and Southeast. What makes cap rate powerful is that it's completely financing independent. It tells you what the property earns as a pure asset, no matter how you fund it. This is how commercial real estate is valued. A residential investor who doesn't know their cap rate is flying blind. The second number is cash-on-cash return. Annual cash flow divided by total cash invested. Say you put $50,000 down, spend $5,000 on closing costs and repairs. $55,000 total in. The property generates $250 a month, $3,000 a year. $3,000 divided by $55,000 is a 5.4% cash-on-cash return. Most serious investors want 8 to 12% minimum, but here's what changes the entire equation. When you buy a $200,000 property with $50,000 down, you're controlling $200,000 of real asset with $50,000 of your own money. If that property appreciates just 5% in a year, a $10,000 gain, your actual return on the cash you invested is 20%, plus the monthly cash flow, plus your tenant paying down your mortgage every single month. As Neil Bawa, who manages hundreds of millions in real estate assets, puts it, appreciation is a gift, cash flow is a salary. Never confuse the two. When you know your numbers, you're collecting the salary, and the gift is just a bonus. The Federal Reserve's 2022 survey of consumer finances found that the median net worth of a homeowner is $396,200. For renters, it's $10,400. And a 2023 National Bureau of Economic Research working paper analyzing returns across 16 developed economies from 1870 to 2015 found that residential real estate, when leverage is factored in, had the highest long-run risk-adjusted return of any major asset class, higher than equities, every time. Let that sit for a second. The experienced investors who walk into a showing already knowing whether the deal works, completely calm, completely detached from the fresh paint and the staged furniture, they got there by running exactly these three numbers. That clarity is available to you right now. So there you go. 3 numbers, any property, anywhere. The 1% rule cuts the noise in 30 seconds. The 50% rule protects you from the deals that look good until they don't. And cap rate plus cash-on-cash return tells you exactly where your money stands against every other investment on earth. 5 minutes. That's the whole framework. You're not just learning how to read a listing. You're learning how to see through the noise, to make a decision that most people spend weeks agonizing over in the time it takes to finish a cup of coffee. Once you see it this way, you can't unsee it. If this helped, share it with someone who's been sitting on the fence about real estate, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Next week, I'm breaking down exactly how to find the properties worth running these numbers on in the first place. You won't want to miss it.